Good morning, everyone. Sorry, good evening, everyone. Good evening and Jai Hind. I hope all of you are doing well. Good evening, Amit, Megha, Khushbu. Good evening. So I hope all of you are doing well. Now we are in the third month of this year. 2 months just passed by like in a while it's gone. It's just like that. When you are preparing for the exam, you may have this feeling that the new year just like we have entered into 2025 just a few days ago, and now 2 months are over. Yes, that is also one of the feeling which we get. So how are you? How is everyone? Good evening. Good evening. Okay, so yes. Uh Ashutosh, see, right now we didn't have this we don't have this option of PSI right now. But as soon as it is announced, like you will get to know automatically. As soon as this is announced, you will get to know about this automatically. Okay. Yeah, feels like New Year was 15 to 20 days. I'm quite good. Thank you. Muskan, you can take any book for previous year question. It is not about this, like here there is no such difference. Take any such previous year question book which has given answers as per UPSC. As per UPSC, like what answers have been given by UPSC. If things are matching according to that, you can follow it. Or even you will find that the UPSC answer key are also available on website. So you can take year-wise questions and then you can go through those official answer key from UPSC website also. Okay, so let's start today's session. The topics which we are going to discuss today, one is private space mission. One of the first topic which we are going to discuss is private space mission. Okay. Second topic which we are going to discuss today is the changing world order on 27th and 28th, and in the last 1 week there has been enormous change in the world order. That is the second topic which we are going to discuss. Third thing is jumping spiders. 2 new species of jumping spiders has been identified in Western Ghats. So we will see their names also, plus we will try to understand what are jumping spiders. Okay. Then there is one report of this UNESCO. There is one report of UNESCO about education in mother tongue. Like what is the relevance or what is the significance of education in mother tongue or mother language. Okay. And then one more topic which is Einstein ring. These are the topics which we are going to discuss in today's session. Okay. Prelims wali class, yes, prelims class will start from tomorrow. In last week on one day there was Mahashivratri, so due to which we didn't have classes, and on Friday due to some technical issue the class was not conducted. Okay. Now in this week on Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday we will have that prelims special class also, the revision class. Okay. So from tomorrow itself, like from Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday, we will have the class in this week. Okay. Tomorrow we will discuss the economy related revision questions. Okay. So now let us start with this, but first let us see some questions. The first question is about this. Consider the following statement regarding the deep sea. The first is saying the deep sea is defined as part of the ocean below 200 meters where sunlight does not penetrate significantly. The deep sea ecosystem is largely independent of surface productivity and derives energy primarily from hydrothermal vents and chemosynthesis. Yeah, we are starting on economics. Like we have discussed one revision series of economics. So we will complete that and then we will start with history. So in this week it is going to be economy. So tell me, what will be the answer here? What is this deep sea? Okay, one answer is B option. B option, C option. Why not the C option? It is saying deep sea is defined as part of the ocean below 200 meters. So that is correct. If we look at this, it is around 656 feet or more than 650 meters. So it is roughly around 200 meter only. After 200 meter, there won't be any such penetration of the sunlight. So deep sea is actually the region which is just below this continental slope. Okay. Just after this continental slope, like after this continental shelf, we have this the beginning of deep sea. So it generally starts from 200 meter depth. Okay. So this first statement is correct. Second is also correct. So answer here will be option number C. In the deep sea, there is no such penetration of sunlight. So there the organisms which are there, they are mostly using chemosynthesis or energy from the vents, hydro vents. Okay. Now coming to the second question, with reference to the Securities and Exchange Board of India, consider the following statement. First is saying it is a statutory body responsible for regulating the securities market in India. It has the authority to regulate and supervise both stock exchange and mutual funds in India. The chairman of SEBI is appointed by Board of Directors of RBI. How many of the statements are correct? This is question number 2 with reference to SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. So, which one will be correct here? Question number 2. First is saying it is a statutory body responsible for regulating the securities market in India. Second is saying it has the authority to regulate and supervise both stock exchange and mutual fund markets. Third is saying the chairman of SEBI is appointed by Board of Directors of the Reserve Bank of India. Why the answer C here? Last time we have seen the chairman of SEBI or RBI or others, they are appointed by Financial Sector Regulatory Appointment Committee that gives its recommendation to Cabinet Committee on Appointment headed by the Prime Minister, and then they appoint it. So we see that there is this Financial Sector Authority, Financial Sector Regulatory Appointment Committee. So that is searching the candidates, then it is reviewed also, then after there is appointment committee of the cabinet which goes for appointment of this. Okay. So this third option is incorrect. First and second is correct. So answer here is option number B, only 2. Okay. Yes, Suraj, definitely we will have a batch for 2026. I have said this earlier also, for 2026 we will have a separate batch, but after some time, like it will not be possible to start right now because right now we are already there in March and prelims is going on. So after March maybe or April, we will start this. So as soon as it is announced, you will be notified. But yes, definitely we are going to have it. Okay. So here first and second is correct. The third option is incorrect. So answer will be B option. With reference to olive ridley turtles, consider the following statement. Olive ridley turtles are known for their unique mass nesting behavior called as Aribada. The species is classified as endangered under the IUCN Red List. They are found in tropical marine areas. So how many statements are correct here? How many statements are correct here? Question number 3. Olive ridley turtles. I am good, Hardik. I hope you are also good. Question number 3. What will be the answer? One answer from Ritu as option number B. Okay. Prachi and Khushbu also says option B. Roshan is saying all 3. Okay. So if you look at this question, it is quite easy. Like if we look at this, first statement is entirely correct. Olive ridley turtles are known for their unique mass nesting behavior called as Aribada. We have seen one single female can lay as much as 100 to 150 eggs. Plus there is like birth of more than lakhs and lakhs of, or you can say millions of olive ridley turtles in just one coastal area. Okay. So yes, there is mass nesting habit called as Aribada. The species is classified not as endangered, it is classified as vulnerable. Last day I have specially emphasized about this, that it has got enormous population, but just because it is important for the marine biodiversity, we have considered it to be vulnerable. And third option is correct. They are found mostly in tropical marine regions. So answer here will again be option number B. Okay. So these are the 3 questions based on the previous sessions. Okay. Now we are starting with this topic, private space mission. Okay. So there is a company, Firefly Aerospace. Firefly Aerospace. This is a company based in United States, and it has got this private space mission. It has got this private space mission which has successfully landed in a upward, or you can say that in a vertical position. Okay. This is first such privately launched mission which has been successful in having a vertical shift or vertical landing. Okay. Earlier also there have been attempts by various private companies to send their spacecraft on moon. Last time again a private company was there. It has sent the spacecraft to moon, but there was a side-by-side landing. Now there has been the first time where it has got a complete vertical landing over the surface of moon. Okay. So this is first vertical landing by any private company. Okay. Of course, government agencies have already done it. Government agencies have done it in the past also, but for private company, this is the first vertical landing. Okay. Now, this is part of Artemis mission. This is part of Artemis mission. Can you tell me what is this Artemis mission? Can any one of you tell me what is this Artemis mission? Which institution has launched it and what is the objective here? We have one thing called as Artemis mission. There is one thing called as Artemis mission. So which country has announced this Artemis mission and what we are planning to have here? NASA is there, okay. So we see that it is an initiative of NASA. It is an initiative of NASA. And what is the aim here? Aim here to have lunar exploration or lunar mission. It is a lunar mission and it has multiple components in here. it has got multiple components. Okay. One of the major part is this one will carry a woman and a person of color for the first time on moon. Okay. A woman and person of color for first time on moon. Means in, you know that in US there is racial discrimination. In US there is racial discrimination. So you will find that most of the missions or most of the things which are being carried out, it is dominated by white persons in there. So this will be the first time when someone of color will be sent by US in space. So first woman and first person of color will be going up into the space. That is part of Artemis mission. Okay. It has also a plan to make a lunar space station. Lunar space station. So here what will be done? This will be called as lunar gateway. Lunar gateway. And future missions or site for sending mission on other planets. So what is the aim here? That we will develop a base on moon, and from the moon we will be sending our satellites and all or different spacecraft on other planets. So planetary missions are going to be launched from moon in the future. So that is the aim under this Artemis mission. So this is one of the primary thing going on it. Okay. They will also search for water on the moon, study the moon, all these things will go. But the major part is a woman and a person of color will be sent for the first time. There will be a lunar space station, lunar gateway, and moon will be used as one of the location from where other planetary missions will also be launched. So that is one Artemis mission of NASA. One Artemis mission of NASA, and they have this plan. They have this plan that in the upcoming future they are going to perform all these things. There are going to be 3 different stages: Artemis 1, Artemis 2, and Artemis 3. Okay. So a test flight is there, which is Artemis 1. Test flight is Artemis 1. So it has already been conducted, already done. Now in newspaper you will find a lot of detail about this private spacecraft mission. Remember one thing, UPSC is not going to ask you about the specification of a private space mission, that too of United States, on moon. Okay. So you don't have to remember that specification, only know that from which country and from which company it has been launched and that it is part of Artemis mission. Okay. So this is one thing which you have to see in this private space mission. Okay. Now, there is one more topic, that is changing world order. Okay. So this is one of the most important topic in the entire world right now. Okay. The changing world order. What we see here, let me give you a certain things. First, Donald Trump elected as president. Now, once Donald Trump has got elected as president, so now he has started taking so many unexpected steps, and that too at a rapid rate. So the world is changing according to this. And why we are saying the changing world order? Because for the first time in the history of last 70 to 75 years, after the Second World War, it has been the first time when the European nations have finally started to speak against United States. Okay. They have first time said something against United States. So in the international media, it has been simply termed as US EU break. Okay. US and EU means European Union break. Okay. So it has been a long tie. It has been a very long tie. Now, what we see that US, earlier it supported Ukraine. Earlier supported Ukraine. Now it is said that US is now supporting or negotiating deal with Russia. Okay. US dealing with Russia. US dealing with Russia. In the last few days, in the last 4 to 5 days, you may have seen that there has been a number of such videos and things which have surfaced. And recently there was a speech, and that speech has just given a hint of the changing global order. The speech was given by Jeffrey Sachs. Okay. He is basically a professor in Columbia University, and he has given a speech from the platform of European Union Parliament. He has given this speech from the platform of European Union Parliament, and in that he has given detail about all those conspiracy theories which were working in the past. Even he had said that US is responsible for this proxy war between Ukraine and Russia. And since US is on the losing end now, hence it wants an end of this war. Okay. He has simply claimed that Ukraine has gone to war just because of US. Every other countries have asked them not to go to war with Russia. They have asked simply to accept this neutrality. But then again, Ukraine has sided with US, and now US has kicked out Ukraine from this entire deal. Now this deal is happening between US and Russia, and it has been said that Ukraine will have to accept this. So it was the war of US and Russia, and the losing party was not US. The losing party was Ukraine. It was a war between US and Russia, and the losing party was Ukraine, because it has lost the lives of the people. It has lost the 2 or 3 years also. It has lost its assets. It has lost its land also. So Ukraine is on the losing hand, and US and Russia are getting the spoils of this war. Okay. So that is one thing. But what significant part we have seen? We have seen that European Union taking a stand against US, against United States. So that is a different thing. So now in the future, now there is one more thing. US saying NATO becoming irrelevant. US is simply saying that NATO is becoming irrelevant, or NATO is not being funded by the European Union. Okay. So now all of a sudden, now European Union is feeling isolated in the world. They have been riding on US back for quite some time, but now there is a change. So now first thing is, US has also lost its allies in the recent past. But then again, this Western hegemony which used to be there, now that hegemony is gone, almost gone. Okay. So there the Western hegemony shaken, that we have seen in the last 1 month now. Now this is the opportunity. For the rise of multilateralism. This is the opportunity for rise of the Asian countries. This is also the opportunity for the rise of a rule-based world. Okay. So there are multiple opportunities here. There are multiple opportunities here. Okay. Rise of the Asian giants. Rise of Asian giants. There is opportunity for rise of multilateralism. There is also this opportunity for rise of rule-based order. Okay. In US context, a line has been quoted by Jeffrey Sachs. He has said that one of the former Henry A. Kissinger, he simply said this: to be an enemy of America can be dangerous, but to be a friend is fatal. Ukraine is the perfect example of it. Pakistan is the perfect example of it. Afghanistan is the example of it. Okay. And the way Israel is going in the future, it may also become the example of how fatal relationship can be there if you are, how fatal a friendship with US can be there. European Union is also having this like a challenge just because of United States. Okay. So this is one thing, like what we see, that now the world order is changing. He may be shouting and he may be like just banging for another 2 or 3 months, but then Donald Trump will come to realize that how irrelevant his speeches were there and how it had changed the global order. So already like this is one of the decade 2025 to 2030. This is one thing which is going to be a phase of change, not just in US, across the worlds. Across the entire world, this is going to be a phase of change. In Europe also, in China also, in Russia also, even in United States and other places. Throughout the world, there is going to be some change. This is the last phase of some of the most popular and aggressive leaders of the world. Okay. That is one thing which we are going through. But again what we see that these 5 years are going to be one of the most troubled years in the world history. Okay. These are again going to be one of the troubled years. Okay. So that is one thing. The world is changing, and so do we have this opportunity. So we have this opportunity that we have like 3 countries, especially India, China, and Brazil and South Africa. They also have to rise here. BRICS again have got the chance. BRICS can emerge as one of the major platform. Okay. Once this US and European world, their break is there, you will find that even European Union may not be able to survive for long. There is so many challenges within the European Union. Now they have started speaking. So many things will again come up. Okay. This is one thing which we see in the world order right now. Okay. World order is changing. And so we also need to change accordingly. Okay. Now, coming to the third part, jumping spiders. Okay. So we have got 2 different like jumping spiders in wildlife sanctuary in Kerala. If you see at their name, one is called as Epidellexia. One is simply called as Epidellexia falciformis. Epidellexia falciformis. Okay. You don't have to go in detail of these spiders, that what is their color, what is how many legs they have, how many eyes they have. You just have to remember their name. When UPSC will frame question on this, they will be simply asking, these have been seen in the news, what type of species they are. So they are basically jumping spiders. Okay. So we have this Epidellexia palustris. Epidellexia. So these are 2 jumping spiders. Apart from this, some other jumping spiders have also been identified. Okay. These are the spiders. Okay. Looking good? These are the spiders. Okay. They have not been discovered just in 2025. They have been identified in 2022 and 23. Okay. Now, there is also this Habrosestum Swaminathan. There is also one thing, Habrosestum Swaminathan. So this is also one type of jumping spider. Jumping spider. It was also identified in the Western Ghat region last year. So that one name also you have to keep in mind. Habrosestum Swaminathan. To honor MS Swaminathan, it has been named after Swaminathan. So Habrosestum Swaminathan. That is also a jumping spider. Now, what does the jumping spider do? What is unique about them? Tell me one thing. How do the spiders catch their prey? If we talk about the spiders, how do they catch their prey? How they get their food? How do they catch their prey? When we are talking about the spiders, which we generally see, how do they catch their prey? How many times current affairs in 2025 pre? Harendra, from 2024 January to 2025 March or April. Even 15th April is more than sufficient, or even up to 30th March it's more than sufficient. Okay. So from January last year to March this year, that will be sufficient. So tell me, how do the spiders catch their prey? How are they catching their prey? Any idea about this? Have you seen spiders or not? I have just shown you once. These are the spiders. So how they are catching their prey? Usually their prey gets stuck in the web by their front hand. Now see, normally if you see at the spiders, what they do is, they have their web. They have their web. Okay. The spider web is there. The prey usually gets like caught in this web, and then a spider comes and captures it and eats it. Okay. So now what we see that usually they have their webs there, and in those webs the prey got stuck and then they eat it. Okay. But when we talk about the jumping spiders, they are not having this like web like thing. Okay. They are not using this web like thing. What they do is, no webs. They have powerful eyesight. They have powerful eyesight. So what they do is, they have very powerful eyesight. So what they do is, they are like stalking and sneaking upon their prey. Okay. Stalking and sneaking upon their prey. And then what they will do is, they will jump over it. They will jump over their prey to capture it, and like you have seen the boxers and all, those who are wrestling and all. So they jump from a height and then beat someone. So in same manner, these spiders are pouncing upon their prey. They are pouncing upon their prey. They are jumping and pouncing upon their prey to neutralize it or to kill it, and then they consume it. Okay. So they jump and pounce upon their prey. So by this method, they are killing their prey. So that's why they are called as jumping spiders. They can jump 10 to 40 times their body length. They can jump 10 to 40 times the length of their body. Their body. Okay. So they are very small, like they are very small, they are spiders. So they are very small often. They are of a few centimeter at most. Okay. They are maximum of a few centimeters. So what we see that even if they are of 1 centimeter, they can jump up to the length of 40 centimeter. They can jump up to 40 centimeter on their prey and then they try to kill it. So that's why they have been called as this jumping spider. They have been called as jumping spider. So 3 such spiders are there. Many more jumping spiders are also there, but you can remember these 3 names. Okay. The first we have seen here Epidylexia falciformis, Epidylexia polostrus, and Harbosystem swaminathan. So these are some of the jumping spiders which has been identified in India, okay, especially in the Western Ghat region. Okay. Clear? Is this some kind of evolution? Every organism and their adaptation is a kind of evolution. The organisms which are there, they are a kind of evolution only. Okay. Now, coming to the next article, this article is about education in mother tongue. Okay. So this is about education in mother tongue. Now, what is the article saying? This is according to the UNESCO report. Okay. There is a global education monitoring team of UNESCO. Global Educational Monitoring Team of UNESCO. It has given a report. It says that 40% of the population does not have education, does not have access to education in the language which they can understand. Okay. So that is the main heading here. 40% of the population does not have access to education in language they understand. This is one part as global population. Then they have given another part. In the low and middle income countries, when we talk about the low and middle income countries, low and middle income countries, this proportion is not just 40%. It can be even up to 90%. Okay. So 90% people are not getting education in the language which they can understand. Okay. So near about a quarter of billion learners are affected due to this lack of access to education in their mother tongue. Okay. Now the question is why? Why people are not getting the education? Why people are not getting the education in their mother language? We are discussing it from the Hindu. Most of the days we are discussing the news from the Hindu. Like all the 5 articles which we are discussing today, that is from Hindu. If there is something very much important in Indian Express, then I again try to cover that. Okay. But you will find that whatever main news are there, they get there in both the newspapers. So now we have this one question: why does people are not getting the education in their own language? One of the first thing is the legacy of colonialism. Now, when the Britishers or the Europeans, when they went across the world, when they have come across Asia or Africa or other part of the world, what they did, they changed the education system. They changed the language of education. They changed this language of education. So today most of the people are receiving this education in English. Even now we are having the classes in English. Okay. Even right now we are having these classes in English here. Okay. So that is also one of the part. This is the legacy of colonialism, that we have imposition of certain language in our education, in our instruction. Okay. So that is one part. Second thing is huge linguistic diversity in some country. huge linguistic diversity in some countries. Like suppose that when we talk about India itself, even if we talk about India itself, what we see that like suppose you all are from different part of the country. Some of you may be able to understand Hindi. Some of you may be able to understand it better in form of Bhojpuri. Some of you might be familiar with the Mathili language. Some of you may be using Vajika language. Some of you may be there from Maharashtra, so you may be aware about the Marathi language. Some of you may be from Gujarat, some from Himachal Pradesh, some from Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur, Tripura, so many states. All the states have their different languages, their own local languages. Now think about just me. If I have to teach you current affairs in all these different languages, starting from Tamil and Telugu to Kannada, to different languages to Malayalam, then Marathi, Gujarati, then Punjabi, Bhojpuri, Mathili, or from Assam, Assamese language or Manipuri language. In Manipur also the different tribal groups speak different language. So that is going to be one of the most challenging tasks for me. Okay. So this is one thing. There is huge language diversity. So that's why it will be difficult. Okay. Third thing, what we see that this resources, okay, unavailability of or lack of resources or books in native language. Now what we see that many of the literature or many of the language have got limited text. Many of the literatures have got limited text. Like suppose when we are talking about black hole. So black hole is called as Shyam Vivir in Hindi. It is called as Shyam Vivir in Hindi. Now it may be called something else in Mathili. It may be called something else in Marathi. It may be called something else in Kannada language or other languages. But in these languages, we have the lack of those books or resources which mentions about these terms. Okay. So that is also one of the challenge. Okay. Then limited teachers capacity. That is also one thing which I will write here. Limited teachers capacity. So that is also one thing which we see here. And this is one thing which has been identified by UNESCO. This is something, it has been identified by UNESCO that why we are not having teaching in native languages, limited teachers capacity. Then there is also community opposition. In some of the areas, in some of the countries, in some of the states, there is opposition towards a particular language also. Okay. So that is also one of the things. Community is also opposing sometimes education in the regional language. Okay. Now suppose that if people are sending their children to learn something in the schools, like if they are sending, normally we have a perception. If we are sending someone to read in schools and they are just learning the native language, like suppose you are being sent to the school and you are just learning the native language, you are not able to get English education or others, then your parents will also worry that you will not be able to work outside your native place. So that is why they also oppose it. So there is an angle of employment opportunity also here. Okay. So employment opportunity. Like suppose if you have learned about AI in Mathili language, suppose you have learned about artificial intelligence in Mathili language and you go to Silicon Valley in US and talking to Mark Zuckerberg or like Elon Musk in Mathili language. So you can imagine how this conversation will go. Okay. So that will become one of the challenge. Or suppose if people from Africa are saying in their own language, like different part of the world, in Africa there won't be one language. There are so many tribal groups, they all will speak in their language. In India, if people are going to a conference from the different part of the country, they all have their learning about AI in their own language. And when they all come to meet and discuss about AI, so that will be a wonderful scenario. Now, we are not ready for it simply. We are not simply ready for it right now. It is not that it cannot be done. With the help of technology, we can have translation also. Not the present day translation, it is transliteration. So, that becomes one of the challenge. That becomes one of the challenge. Now, if we talk about India, we have this National Education Policy 2020. We have this new education policy. We have this new education policy of 2020. National Education Policy. It recommends three language formula. Now, there was a lot of debate here also. That what will be these three languages. So now it has been cleared that two languages will be Indian. Two Indian language plus one any language. Any language which you want to choose. You can choose three Indian language also. You can choose two Indian plus one Spanish or French or anything. Okay. So that is one thing, 2 plus 1. Here it has been said that one native, one official or scheduled language. How many official languages are there in India? How many official languages do we have? Now think about this. Elon Musk in Bhojpuri. Let him remain in US. Don't call Elon Musk to like India right now. Even the US people are thinking that let's send Elon Musk out of US. Just to give you a context, Elon Musk, he has been made in charge of a department which has the power to fire different officials. Now they have fired various officials also, and many of these officials who have been fired, they are investigating the cases against Tesla or SpaceX or various companies of Elon Musk. Okay. So Elon Musk is in charge of a department which can fire several officials. He has already fired various of those officials who are in charge of investigating those cases which are going on against the companies of Elon Musk. Okay. So there is a conflict of interest. Okay. Now, US government has said that Elon Musk will rescue himself from those cases where there is a conflict of interest. But think about this. Who will decide this conflict of interest? It will be decided by Elon Musk. Okay. So he will decide when the conflict of interest will arise, and then he can decide to rescue himself from those decisions. So let him be there in US only. Okay. We will not like him here. Yes, 22 different scheduled languages are there. So we have this national education policy which talks about three language formula. Okay. So this, what is the aim of this? The aim is simply to promote linguistic diversity. Promote linguistic diversity and national unity. That is the aim of three language formula according to the government. Okay. So that is another article, the language which is used for education and the Indian case. Okay. Now, Coming to the last topic, that is Einstein ring. So you may be able to see here a ring-like structure. Let me show you a clear one. Now you will be able to see this, a ring-like structure. So this ring-like structure is called as Einstein ring. Okay. Now there is a space telescope, Euclid Space Telescope, which has discovered a new Einstein ring in nearby galaxy. So what exactly is Einstein ring? Okay. What is this? Any idea about this? What is this Einstein ring? Any idea about this? This Einstein ring is around 590 light years away from us. This is at a distance of 590 light years. 1 light year is equal to the speed of 1 light year is equal to the distance covered by light in 1 year. So it is 590 light years away from us. That is the distance of this Einstein ring. Okay. So what is the Einstein ring? If we talk about this, what exactly is this? Okay. See, there is one thing called as gravitational lensing. There is one thing called as gravitational lensing. So what is gravitational lensing? If you look at this image, you will find that a net-like structure is there. This net-like structure is called as space-time fabric. Space-time fabric. So Einstein said that a matter can warp space-time around it. Okay. Suppose this is the space-time fabric, and if there is a heavy object, if there is a heavy celestial object, this is a heavy celestial object. So this heavy celestial object is warping or bending the space-time around it. It is creating a curve. You can see this is creation of a curve-like situation here. It is creating a curve here. So this is causing warping of space-time. Warping of space-time. This is called as warping of space-time. So now what is gravitational lensing? Gravitational lensing is said that suppose if light is passing through this area, if light is passing through this area, you have always read this, that light always travels in a straight line. Light will always travel in straight line. But when it will pass from here, if the surface is bent, this will also bend. If the surface is bent here, if the space-time fabric is bent here, curved here, so light will also bend there. So this gravitational lensing is basically bending of light due to space-time warping. Due to space-time warping. So this is basically bending of light due to a space-time warping. So suppose that if there is a light radiations which is coming from a distant galaxy or a distant star, so when this light is traveling in the space, it may experience these type of warping of space-time. These type of warping of space-time. So there may be a situation when there is multiple reflection of the light along this path. There is multiple reflection of light along this path. So this multiple image, this multiple reflection of the light around any such warping gives the formation of Einstein ring. Okay. So Einstein ring is a rare phenomena. Einstein ring is a rare phenomena. Okay. So when gravitational lens distort the light coming from a distant object, okay, so that multiple images are created in the foreground in a form of circular pattern, then we have this Einstein ring which appears in the sky. It is not an object. Remember this thing, it is not an object. This Einstein ring is basically a image, multiple image created in a circular pattern, due to gravitational lensing. Due to gravitational lensing means due to this effect, if there is multiple such light which is bending from here and forming a ring like a structure, that light which we see, this is what we call as Einstein ring. Like in this image you can see there is a heavy object and around this the light has bent almost in a circular fashion. So there is a heavy object in the center of it and there is a space-time warping in which this light has bent due to the warping of the space-time. And this is what we call as the Einstein ring. Why the Einstein ring? Einstein was the one who said that the space-time can warp according to the matter. Einstein said that matter can warp or create curve in a space, and curve will determine the motion or path of matter. So once this warp is created, now warp will decide how the matter is going to pass through that area. So Einstein has said this, that's why this was called as Einstein ring. Although first time it has been discovered even in the early 19th century, but properly it was discovered in this 1970s, 80s. Okay. That was the time when this was found out for the first time, and it was named as Einstein ring. Okay. So that is Einstein ring. I hope that is clear. Yes, it is very much nearby, only and only 590 light years away. It is very much nearby, only 590 light years away. So I hope this is clear. What is Einstein ring? A multiple image created due to gravitational lensing. What is gravitational lensing? Bending of light due to the warping of a space-time. Why the warping of a space-time? Due to gravity. Okay. So that is our Einstein ring. Tomorrow in the morning at 8 AM, we will have the economy revision series at 8 AM. And again tomorrow in the evening at 5 PM, we will meet again for current affairs. Okay. So thank you everyone. Let's meet tomorrow then at the same time, and then we will discuss the remaining topics. Thank you everyone. Take care.